guest is Mike Knight. How are you?
I am fantastic, Suzanne. Thank you for asking.
Oh my God. Thanks for coming to the TalkativeChic podcast. I'm really glad you're here.
Absolutely. I would never pass up a chance to be in Munster. This is fantastic.
It's a great little neighborhood to walk through. We're a big dog neighborhood too.
I can tell. Yeah. Like, this looks like it's possibly the yard sale capital of the Midwest. It has to be.
We have had a lot of yard sales.
That was rhetorical. I knew that already.
I used to have yard sales all the time, and then I was like, why am I doing this? Like, it's a lot of work.
I don't know if I've ever produced a yard sale, but there's something that calls to me. It's like the song of the siren. If you pass a yard sale, you're like, ooh, I wonder. There's something in there.
What is happening over there?
Yeah. Is that an old Polaroid? Ooh.
Oh my gosh. My one beautiful thing that I bought, which I don't even think I have anymore, but at a yard sale, and I was like so proud of myself, was like a candle holder, and it had like it was like a wooden candle holder box, and it had 16 circles where you would put those little low, what do you call them, like little teacup candles.
Okay.
And I mean, I had that forever, and I just loved it. I was like, I can't believe I bought this at a yard sale. I mean, it was just like really flashy looking.
You didn't even know that you wanted it.
I didn't know I needed it. I didn't know it would just enlighten my life.
Yeah. It's something about a deal in somebody's like garage parking space that just makes it. I'll buy a picture of another family if it's like at a reasonable price.
Picture of another family. They look great.
Yeah.
They have a dog in their picture.
Yeah, Mike, you're Venezuelan? Yeah. Why not? I'm also 11 years old. That's me. It's right on.
Use your imagination.
On my mantle.
It's me. Oh my God, that's so funny. I met you actually virtually by Kimberly Marion gave me your name. One day I was just like, hey, any comedians you like? Because she was on Facebook, and she was talking about black comics not getting booked and and I was like, hey, give me a list. She gave me you. She gave me Skylar. I'm gonna forget his name. Stinks.
There's a black comic named Skylar, because that's blowing my mind right now.
Right, she should be blonde.
I have a theory. That any white people with verb names is the same as a black person with like a really difficult name to say. Like DeQuation and Skylar, same thing. Just two different cultures.
Okay, say that other name, DeQuation.
I've never met one, but there has to be one out there.
I would not know how to spell that. And I am a good speller by nature.
But if I meet a Xander, I go, yeah.
Xander's a real cool name. Xander's like a superhero.
I don't even know what it is to Xand.
I Xand today, and I will Xander tomorrow.
Been Xanding my whole life.
Watch me while I Xand.
And it's my firstborn.
Is that what they're calling it these days? Oh, God, that is so great. He's the best Xander I've ever been with.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway.
What am I doing?
Uh-oh.
You got to have
it's all good. Oh. Drop the mic.
Yeah, there has to be a protocol for that. I should owe something.
That's all good. No worries. We just edit this out. It'll take us 4
That's
hours.
awesome so she was giving you a list of names?
Yeah, she gave me a list of names, and you were one of them, and I had never heard you before, and I was like, I'm booking him, and because I just think I respect her so much, and then I booked you, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. You're like, yeah. So
the
it was really
show
super
that you
cool.
put on, the people that you pulled together, the venue, the crowd, I had a phenomenal time. That was absolutely dope.
Thanks for saying that.
No,
yeah,
spectacular.
See, people in Indiana are really cool.
Yeah, 1,000%. And the green room was the size of a 5-car garage, and it was all green for real.
Green.
Yeah, I respect that.
It was green. Yeah, and you can sign the wall if you want. It's kind of cool, but yeah, there are good people there. It was good. It's a good place. I love it. My next show is July 30th.
Okay.
So yeah, and I love doing it. It does it. I mean, it's a lot of work. You know, you produced, right? Yeah.
I produced a rotten goose egg of a show once upon a time, and I was just like, it was doomed from the beginning. But it didn't like spoil me from it. It just, when you're in the middle of it, and you're like, oh, I just went in there with all piss and vinegar, like that was gonna be enough. like my feels and my high hopes. And then I was like, oh, I got to put asses in seats. Right. How do you do that? I gave myself like 3 weeks from I want to produce a show to the show is ready to like the actual day.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
it was
really quick.
Yeah. So it was I learned a lot from making all the mistakes, nothing but mistakes.
Wow. Well, yeah, don't give up on it. I mean, I was really, really, really scared the first one. I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? You know, like it was one of those moments, like, you know, how you sign up for something and then you're like, oh, wait a second. Sure. And I remember in acting class, they would tell us that, like, you know, there's times where you get the role and then you're like, oh no, I got the role.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do with this role?
Sure,
you know? So yeah, it is a big task. It's a lot.
It's a theater you're filling in, Suzanne.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So your first one, like this baby LeBron over here, like you're right out the gate. They just you skipped high school, went right to the league from kindergarten, just slam dunking.
I guess so. I did do a little bar in Hammond, Indiana, when the pandemic was still around, and you know how Indiana like was kind of open. And shout out to Lisa McGee, because she gave me an opportunity, which was awesome to me, and she's a great person. And she owes McGee's Pub and Grub in Hammond, Indiana. And I did it one time, and then like we were going to do it again, and then it closed down with the pandemic, and then I was like kind of battling with that. And then it's a really nice bar. It's just that like half of the people are there for the comedy show, and then the other half are there to drink. Right. You know what I mean? And they don't really want to hear the comedy show. So that was the only thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just was like, okay, what do I do this? I did grow up in church, and I was a music coordinator at my church.
Okay.
So I think that helped me. I mean, from a young age, I'm talking. Man, I think I started in church when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
From a young age, 7, 8, 9, they had us on that stage. I mean, it's pretty bizarre, you know, with either memorizing Bible verses or doing kind of a Christmas program or whatever you want to say. I mean, I was on a stage, like, and I do account a lot for church. I mean, building that in me. And then I played the piano, and by 12 or 13, I was playing the piano in front of everybody, and, you know, the organ. And so, and I always just loved the stage. So that helped me. And then with music coordinating, you had to have like 4 specials every Sunday. So it's like, you know, it was like booking people. Right. So you booked so-and-so to, you know, sing, and this group and that group and whatever. And you rehearsed and practiced, and I played the piano. So I played the piano for all of them. And so it was just all of that. I think that kind of really helped me mold that producer side of me, you know.
So you go door to door like a Jehovah's comic. Have you heard the good joke of the day?
I'm gonna have a bus pick you up at 8:00 at night for this comedy show. Okay, you go be ready. You and your 10 kids can come. Oh my goodness!
Come be blessed by the funny ha-has. Now that's amazing. Like even the theater, the space itself, like just. And the crowd was there to laugh. Like, it was a good crowd. I mean, the inside looks like Tim Burton's acid trip. I don't know what they did to the walls, but it was fantastic.
Like, wow, Mike Knight has observed this place, and he is like throwing down. It was hilarious.
It was a fun time for sure.
Oh, that's good. I'm so glad to hear that. For sure.
Do you perform as well, or you like it better on the?
You know what? I love stand-up comedy, and I dabbled into acting. I went into Second City.
Okay.
Did the whole acting program there, and then I did a little improv there, and then but stand-up comedy was always in the back burner. Like, I'd like to try it. I'd like to try it. But it was always one of those things like, am I funny enough? Can I do this? Whatever, you know. And I sometimes I feel like I'm not that quick-witted, you know, like I have to be like sit and write and, you know, really think of what's funny or whatever. But at any rate, I started it during the pandemic, which was really weird. But I was dying socially, like not hanging out with people. Like that was really hard for me. Everything was Instagram. So September 2020 was that first show at the bar, and my friend's a DJ, and I'm like, hey, do you think that we could do a free show at the bar? And he's like, yeah, if it's free, of course, you know, I'll talk to her. Yeah. And then some of my Second City friends came that have done stand-up comedy, and we did it, and then I loved it, and then I felt like I got laughs. I'm like, okay, this is working, you know, like okay. And then I've always kind of like, I never really did open mics because like I just always heard the horror stories. You put your name in a hat and you're not even called, and you're sitting there, and I don't know. And I don't even think it's like that anymore. I think you can sign up.
Certainly
and
is
stuff.
like that. It is 1,081% like that. It is a miserable existence that everybody should at least just dip their toe in. You know, like everybody's uncle was like, "Oh, you just ate the watermelon seed? Oh, watermelon's about to grow in your belly and blow you up. You're gonna die." You're like 4 years old, but everybody's uncle did it. It was like the open mics, and you have to go out there and just wait till 2:23 in the morning and perform for the other two comics that are just nodding off because they did too many of the wrong drugs.
And I remember Second City had an open mic on Saturday nights, and I went one time, and I was sitting there, and you had to put your name in a hat, and I didn't. And I was sitting there, and I was just listening. I was actually there to hear a different person that was in my class do a stand up, and I thought she was funny. I mean, I have a very boisterous laugh, and so I was laughing a lot.
Sure.
And I was like, I think she's funny.
Right.
Everybody else needs to laugh too. But I mean, if you're doing an open mic with like basically 90% of everybody there is a comedian, or wanting to be a comedian or whatever. But yeah, and I was like sitting there going like, I think I could tell this joke, and I think I could tell this joke, and I think I could tell this joke. And I mean, it was just a start process. It was a slow process before I actually was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And even the bar, I thought about it for a while, like a good month. I was like, can I do this? And then I spoke and did it, and then I've done the Mikey O show, and then I did Laugh Factory, and then right now it's I'm kind of just taking a breather from it, and I feel bad because I'm the type of person that likes to kick myself in the ass, where I'm like, Susanna, go out there, da-da. And I had a plan, like after my April show, I was going to be like, okay, that's done. I'm not doing one till July. I'm going to sign up for something each week. Either it's going to be a show, or it's going to be an open mic, and I'm going to get out there and hit the pavement, and I'm going to get better and better and better and better. And then life happens, and my dog is she's got some liver enzyme issues, and so that took over, trying to find out what was wrong with her. And
you got a bit about it yet? That's a solid 3 minutes right there. Did you say liver enzymes? That's just funny to hear.
I will work on it.
Pull on the heartstrings. Yeah,
I've had other jokes about her, so hey, because I have a whole
talk about your dog's drinking problem. Yeah, for sure.
Well, she loves to be sedated. My dog loves her sedation.
Your dog's a junkie.
She's a junkie. She won't give it to me. It's like, why can't you share? I got it from a rescue, and she'll fight off any groomer that comes after.
Of course, they're trying to steal their Zans.
Like,
Get off the her. I only got 5 left.
Oh God, that's awesome. So yeah, I had to find a groomer that would sedate her. So I have a whole joke about like I drop her off and I'm jealous of my dog. When am I gonna get sedated?
Yeah.
All of that, but yeah, your joke was a lot funnier.
No. Canine ketamine is hilarious.
I'm asking for permission to steal a joke.
It's all yours.
I'm kidding. But yeah, so it's just been a tougher time for me because this is my first dog and I love her to death.
Sure.
And I just don't, unfortunately, emotionally, I just don't feel like going and doing comedy.
Gotcha.
But I want to, and I need to, and all of that. And I probably will snap out of this funk in July or something. I will. I mean, I've still got my show. I'm doing that. And let's talk about you with comedy, because I heard on one that, we're going to touch on your podcast too, but I heard on your podcast that you were in comedy and then you left and you came back.
Oh, yeah.
So how many years have you been in comedy total?
Ooh, I'm approaching 11, and in the middle I took like 5 years off.
Okay.
And it was the worst. It was a bit. I mean, it's what it is. I'm not one of those like, if I could change the blah blah blah, because this is whatever.
Yeah.
But it was a bad decision at the time.
Okay.
But came back right around the same time. So for me, the pandemic was probably next to the best thing, because I saw the opportunity that when I started. So I got to Chicago about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And a lot of the people in my class when I started, because I started doing comedy for a year in Omaha, Nebraska. Then it was like, I got to get out of here.
You
Came
lived
to Chicago.
in Omaha, Nebraska?
What did I? Whoa, my Goodness gracious.
I had a monologue that I worked on acting class, and the very last thing she's like, "How the hell did I end up in Nebraska?"
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how are you in Nebraska? You're such a city guy. You're such a city vibe to you.
That's the punchline of everything.
Oh,
but yeah,
my God, yeah.
I was out there just Nebrasking it up. Moved out here, and a lot of the people that I had started with, you turn on your TV, I'm getting jealous. You're watching whatever program and this, that, and the third headline and this and that. And then, I stopped doing comedy for like 5 years. Pandemic hit, and I was like, oh my God, nobody's doing anything. Everybody went back to zero.
Yeah.
Like if I'm ever gonna, thanks. I know this is terrible for a lot of people, but
now we're on a level playing field.
Yay!
Nobody's doing anything.
I hopped back in and was
Wow.
doing like what is it? What was it? I was doing like prohibition comedy. Like I don't know what you were doing when the pandemic was going on, but there was a few people who were having shows like secret location, DM for blah 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 blah, and then I got back into it.
Oh my God. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
But I know how easy it is to fall off. You blink and it's 3 months gone by, and you're like, I haven't been on stage in 5 years.
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you're killing it now. I see you all the time, everywhere. It seems.
Just trying to stay busy.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Real Rep Podcast.
Oh yeah.
You got your shirt on, which is so cool. It looks really cool.
Absolutely,
Did you develop the logo? Really
Actually, my lady developed the logo.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's a smart person.
She's pretty savvy with the whole
Very
interwebs
artistic.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Cool.
So, she threw it together. And then my engineer, bless your heart, you're doing like editing, and then you done roped your brother into it with some noogies to do like all the engineering side. I got a guy, and I just trust him to do like a lot of the heavy lifting, and for me it's just press play, booking, and trying to have a vision for it all, and trying to promote that. Oh gosh, how are you feeling about promoting?
Promoting your podcast?
Yeah.
I think that's the easier part for me. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess definition of promoting, right? I mean, all I do is throw it up on Facebook, but I will say that, like, I know I'm missing stuff. I need to go. I need to put it on Instagram, put it on my handles. It's just time, like I feel like Facebook's so easy, like on the phone to just do it, where Instagram, I don't know, it gets complicated for me. Like I see like you have the YouTube, I've been meaning to ask you, the YouTube link on Instagram. I'm like, how does he do that? Like I need to like figure out all that stuff on Instagram. But
I think with the Instagram, you can't even necessarily put the link in like the message, or if you post it up, you have to just put it in your bio. So I'll just like put a reference to the bio for that. But Facebook, you just put the message in with the link to wherever and all the other good stuff. But promotion is it is a monster in anything in showbiz.
Oh yeah, I think promoting shows are harder. Promoting shows, because sometimes I feel like, oh my God, are people being like, shut up already? Like this is your 100th post about this. We get it, Like, but you have to.
You have to do it.
You have to, because then you'll have some people that are like, wait, when is it? I didn't see anything. And you're like, wow, like,
oh yeah,
like you wonder, like, man, how are people, the algorithms and all of that? How are people seeing this? Yeah, it could be a lot. Okay, so Real Rap Podcast, does the rap stand for
regular ass people?
Oh, duh.
Because aren't we all?
Yes, we are.
I actually got booked for a guy has a radio show in New York. And I think he just booked me on the UpUp. He must have just been searching around some, I think. Hey, you want to do my radio show? It's a call-in, FaceTime or whatever, right? So he booked me, and he introduced. I don't know this guy from a can of paint. He just booked me. I'm like, yeah, anyway, I'm an attention whore. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. No questions asked. I don't care what he do. Biker gangs that beat up on like old people. Yeah, sure, book me. And he introduced me as, and this young comic from out of Chicago does comedy and also raps. That's how he brought me in to his listeners.
Oh, great. It's like, I hope he doesn't ask me to freestyle right now.
Yikes. Because I'm oof.
I'm going to bust out with some M&Ms
Yeah.
or something else.
I got a nice car. It drives real far. And you're like, oof, this guy.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. And I had to tell him immediately, no, yeah, buddy, the rap is definitely regular ass people. He was mildly disappointed, as he should be. Should have did his research.
Yeah, he should have done his research. He should have messaged you and said, "What does the rap stand for?"
Freaking New Yorkers. You think words actually mean their definitions? What a jerk.
Well, the periods give it away, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the periods make me think
Acronym.
it's
Hello.
an acronym.
This guy.
Yeah, I mean, rap does not have periods. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, unbelievable. How was that experience when you it was all through like Zoom or whatever, or through
Yeah, and my headphones were crap, so I kept dropping out like I was using my work iPad.
Yeah.
It just kept fading out, fading in. It was oof. It was decent though. I had a good time. I like because the comedy has a community, right?
Yeah.
Actor community, musician
Yeah.
community, and it took me not too terribly long, but podcast community.
Yeah.
Like you really gotta mix and mingle with other podcasters.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you're having me on, much appreciated. I'm gonna have you on, and
Right.
then mix and mingle, and just to see the other styles, how other people's doing it. And
Yeah.
just like anything you do where it's a community based, you just oh man, and, like
yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
I love the sense of community,
Yeah.
big time. I really liked the acting community just because you're in scenes together, so you're really working together. Where like comedy community too, I found a
backstabbers.
lot of great.
Jesus, every single one of them. Nihilistic nincompoops. They're
a lot
the
of
worst.
narcissistic people.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Seriously.
my goodness. Yeah, I like the nice kind of
Fair
comedy
enough.
people.
Fair enough.
So have you encountered a lot of backstabbing?
I
Just
mean,
edginess or whatever, or things like
I don't
Beefs,
necessarily
comedy
call it
beefs.
backstabbing. I mean,
Yeah.
you from the time you're yay high, like you just hear show business is what it is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So everybody's trying to make it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it's a lonely journey. Really.
Yeah,
At the end
it
of
can
the day.
be for sure. I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I was somebody had told me about Jim Brewer talking about SNL days
Mm.
and how horrible it was. I mean, people just stealing each other's bits, and
Oh yeah.
the writers catering to certain people and
yeah,
not
yeah.
giving you screen time for whatever reason because they didn't like you or I don't know, and like blocking out things. And he said that he had a scene with Matthew Broderick, and Matthew Broderick loved it, and he was like laughing through, like a sketch I should say, and he loved it, and he was laughing through it and everything, and of course, so they want to please Matthew Broderick, but they wanted to screw him, and they're like, well, we're not going to do all of it, and he's laughing through it, so we don't really want to break character, and SNL breaks character all the time,
Yeah.
and just the horrible. And I just never knew that about SNL. Like you see the finished product and you think, oh wow, how great, And it's so sad because I feel like so much more creativity can happen when there's not those obstacles. Because
Sure.
I mean, I feel like anytime you're going to do something creative, there's obstacles.
Mm.
I mean, just
Oh, yeah.
because you're working with human beings, But when you have a good group of people and there's less obstacles, it's just so much better, and
Yeah.
the product comes out better.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean,
Because I mean, in my mind, show business is one of the only professions where there's no finish line. There's no end. If you're playing sports, win the championship, go back, figure out why you didn't, right? If you're at work, make small numbers big, make big numbers small every quarter, and then go back, right? If you whatever else you do, if you're a baker, make it taste good,
Yeah.
If you're in show business, it's this,
Yeah.
and then more of this, and then keep doing it until this gets bigger, and then you're in that next plateau, and then those people you're like, oh, now I want to get there. If you're
Yeah.
acting, okay, I'm in this movie. Now I want to be in that movie with this person, work with this director. Now I want to direct. Now I want to make a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Now, like it just, there's never an end point to it. You're just on this thing trying to be the best you can, and people are going to try and steal your ideas, come by, hold you back, sometimes help you out, sometimes help you out to steal your stuff later. It's like, it's a crazy go on SNL, kiss your ex-old lady, and then now get a tattoo and they're living together, like it's, and everything's playing out in front of your face. Everything's recorded.
Yeah, little Pete Davidson, he's really killing it.
Bless his heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a different conversation about him, and I was like, I didn't see it at first. I was like, I mean, I think he's funny, but not like, oh wow, what a hot looking guy, But then, like, I mean, I think people are just, it's happening. It's happening for him. Word of mouth, I think, happened for him. It was like word of mouth.
Yeah. If you're a guy like me or Ralph over here, you just make him laugh. That's the only shot you got. That's the only.
Oh my goodness.
That's the only. I learned that back in the early '90s. Like, all right, I'm gonna just keep rocking with this.
Yeah, laughter is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, developing a personality is always good.
Yeah,
and I will say, like, there are people. I remember as a teenager, there was this guy in church that I thought was very, very attractive, and I was very like intimidated by him because I just thought he was just so good looking.
Oh yeah.
And then we go to Great America, in a teen church activity.
Oh, he had the personality of wallpaper.
And we were standing in line for hours for this ride, I mean, we were all in a group, but it happened so that he was standing by me.
Yeah.
And I was like talking to him, he's just like, nah.
Oh.
Sure. And I was like, oh my soul, like this guy's so boring, And I mean, I got to ride the roller coaster, so that was like, oh cool, I'm riding with this guy. But afterwards I was just like, you
got nothing going on.
Yeah, give me a guy that's a little bit more mediocre looking, but is funny or has something about him that's interesting.
Are just fizzling out up there. Have you had anybody like that on the show yet?
No, like a non-talker.
Oh, that just answer your question precisely, like it's arithmetic.
No,
and then they just sit there and look at you. Oh my gosh!
But
the longer you do it, it's coming.
Oh
my goodness gracious.
Like Giovanni from Lobodan. He has told me stories, and then I'll go look to that episode, and people are not giving him much, and it's like pulling teeth to get something out of him.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up in Detroit? It was nice.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. All right. It took all of 43 seconds.
Yeah. This one lady too said, so I'll make the long story short. And he's like, no, give me the long story. I want the long story.
Literally the name of the game.
Oh my God. So you've had that. I've listened to some of your podcasts, but not every episode, but wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But you have a couple people on there, right?
I'll have a few people, and and one of them will just be a dead zone.
There's just a statue.
It's just a landmine, right? you just tiptoeing through the yard of conversation, and then you lose a toe. But I think it's one of those. It's in the same. It's in the same atmosphere as, I would say, like bombing on stage, or if you tell a joke that doesn't land.
Yeah.
Like if
silence.
and the more and more you do it, the more and more you get comfortable with that. And you just go, okay, I know what to do. I've accumulated the tools that I need to dig myself out of this joke hole that I just that I just put myself in. So
do you ever have like a mental thing happening on stage where you're like, well, you thought this joke was really good, and you throw it out there, and then you're like, oh God, that was my best one. Like what's gonna happen now? Oh yeah.
I got booked based off of telling the story of how bad I bombed at another place. I went in. I had a few shows that went well for me, so I was like riding my own little, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you were on the carpet ride, Mike Knight carpet ride.
And I went to this room on Southside, and I walk in there. I was I could have popped my zipper. That's how I walked in there, right? And I went in there and did my first dun jokes, and they was like, I got a babysitter for this. Like, it's a 2-drink minimum. Who this goof ass is? And
Oh man.
it went so bad that at a certain point, like in my set while I was there, the only laughs I got was counting how many bombs I had. And they just laughed at how horribly I was doing. I go to another show and told them that story in front of, the show was set up so that they asked me, when was the last time you bombed? And I told that story, and it was still fresh in my mind because it just happened.
Yeah.
And like, you ever did something in like 3rd grade and it was just embarrassing? Like, sing a song to somebody you liked and they looked at you like, ooh. And you can think about it now and you get the shivers.
Yeah.
Like, I told that story there and the crowd died laughing, and then I got booked at that place off of my misery.
Off of your misery.
Because at the time, the joke hole that I wanted to throw myself in there and just grab all the dirt.
Just bury me alive. Somebody take me off stage.
Like Kill Bill, just leave me down here. I'll never want to see the light again.
Oh yeah, one of the worst moments I think was one of my Hobart art shows, and I did the mistake of not putting myself first, but it wasn't because of an ego thing. It was just that I had 2 friends that had offered to do the door, and they wanted to watch my set. So they were like, "Can you not put yourself first? Because then we'll miss your set, right? So put your set where once 8:30 rolls around and we're done with the door, we can come see you." So I was like, "Okay, cool." And I followed someone amazing,
you had a line of killers the last time I was there.
Oh yeah, everybody that I book is better than me. I mean, it's just the way it's gonna be, because like I've only been at it for a year and 8 months.
They always say put yourself around people that are better than you. Yeah?
Yes, I talk about this one person that co-produces with this other person. I don't want to get into. But I'm like, man, the smartest thing they could have done was co-produce with that person, because, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you want people around you that are amazing or better than you, and that you can thrive to be, and you can look up to, and you can study, and it's awesome when they are what's the word? Okay with you asking questions or helpful, because some people they're like, they don't want all that. They're like, leave me alone.
Too cool comedians.
Too cool for school.
You should have been a musician, jerk. Loosen up.
And we don't know a lot of jerks that are front men.
For sure.
Yeah, and so anyway, so I put myself way in. I don't know if I was 4th or 5th or whatever. And another thing I've learned is, like, I had a 14-minute set, which was like, I mean, a lot of new material. Like, I hadn't worked it out, and and I want to say one of the first jokes was a sedation joke, and it was like, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
And then I kept going on, and I had somebody videotaping it.
Videotaping
the horrible thing.
Of course.
And then you hear it back, and you do hear some laughs by the, because it's like, okay, there were people laughing, but I mean, it was just a bad moment. That took me a long time to get out of that. Like, I was just like, oh, my soul, that show was just not,
You listen to your bad sets?
Yeah, I do.
I buy a whole new phone. I don't want anything to do with it.
Oh yeah, it's hard when it was bad, or if it was half bad.
Yeah.
No, I kind of try to look. Okay, what's the difference of what I did? How did I deliver this joke, where over here it didn't work? And I mean, I know a lot of it. I mean, I've heard comics say it's never the crowd, and I'm like, oh, really? We can't blame the crowd.
Yeah.
It's easy to blame the crowd, but yeah, I do come to a foundational reason why it went bad, though. I do, of course, that one I'm blaming on putting myself 4th and 5th. As a host, you got to go first, and that's it, But I was doing it to accommodate whatever, which I love my 2 friends. That it's not their fault. But yeah, it's just like, and then you decide, okay, I'm not doing that again, and I'm gonna just host in the beginning and move on.
Yeah.
And then I've also learned, like, okay, Susanna, you don't. I think because I produced because I wanted a stage for myself. It wasn't ever like, I just was like, okay, I found out with acting quite quickly that you can go to all these auditions, but if the two people in the room don't like you, you're never going to get an acting gig, right? You have to impress those two people. And I feel with like comedy, you have more of a chance of not impressing, but making people laugh and having a good time, right? And then I felt like, okay, I'm never going to have a stage unless like, I mean, luckily for me, like Second City booked me in plays with my acting director, and then he was nice about letting me teach, which was awesome, and all of that. But it's like it's almost kind of like I just said, okay, I want to create the movie, right? But that's a real hard task. Then I was kind of like, okay, well, if I'm going to be a stand-up comedian, I have to find a stage, and I'm going to have to create it because that's the only way it's going to work, and so then it just came from that. Then I mean, I love comedy, too, obviously. And so booking comedians and getting to know them, and it's just amazing. And I felt like at my show I didn't really get to talk to you a lot. I was really busy in that one. But I mean, I was just like, I always like to hear the sets because I'm lighting, but I'm also like, I want to hear how do they handle this crowd? What are they doing with it? I'm trying to study other comics and stuff. But yeah, and then there was another set that I feel like it wasn't a bombing, but it wasn't that great. And I looked and I saw the things I did wrong. I think when the focus is on you, it's never a good thing. I had a lot of anxiety that day. I mean, I walked in and my hand was shaking.
Like getting ready to go on stage?
Like,
or just in general?
Well, when I walked in the room, I was fine. I talked to the producers. I was fine. There were some comics that were headlining or were coming after me that I really, really, really respect. And I respect the producers that were doing the show, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I should probably just say who it is. But so I think that all of that started playing into my brain, like I want to be amazing because, like, these people are here and I want to impress them. You know what I mean? And all of that. But I weirdly enough, like, I don't know, I was getting the jitters. My hand was shaking. I started like, I actually literally went into a corner and started stretching and moving and like trying to get the jitters out. I was like, hey, calm down. It's going to be okay. And once I got on stage, I felt confident. It wasn't like I wasn't confident. It's just I did not deliver those jokes as at the best of my ability like I could have delivered them. Yeah. I think there was like a restriction on me almost. But yeah, I play it back. I do. As hard as it is, taking the humble pill.
The audience, I've learned speaking for myself, is that the audience is really intuitive. They know when you're excited to tell your jokes. They know when you're just reading the script in your mind on your jokes. They know when you're not comfortable, and that makes them comfortable. Like it's the same as if I was to approach like a gal at the bar or something like that, right? If I approach it with confidence or whatever, then things will probably she'll at least give me some attention for a hot little second. You know what I mean? But if I approach her like a sleazy little jerk. With a loose pill in my hand, going, hey, what's that over there? People like, ew, get away.
Take my drink.
Yeah, I'm gonna get maced in the face. You know what I mean? But the audience typically know, because there's definitely been times where I don't necessarily tell the same set. I try my best.
Yeah.
Not I'll mix up the order or the way that I say. I know the mechanics of it for the most part, right? But I can go up and say the same set list or same jokes, and if I'm just like, let me get over with this 5 minutes, like the audience, they know, they pick up on it, even if I'm saying it with the same tone, the same speed, the same everything. But if I go in there, especially if it's like a new joke and I'm like, oh, I'm geeked to yay, like they're like, oh, I'm excited too. Like how many of those brand new comics, their first set actually goes well because they're just so pumped to just even be there and not a punchline in sight. It's a 5-minute story with no joke to be seen about something that happened to 3 of their buddies that aren't even in the audience, but everybody's like, yeah, because they're just like, Brah.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think they can smell the uncomfortability a mile away. And I mean, it's energy that you're giving off. certain kind of thing. And I did learn from that experience. I was like, yeah, you got to get in the right frame of mind. And then I read, I looked up articles on anxiety for performers and like stress and whatever. And a lot of it was like fear of public speaking, which I don't have that. I think growing up at church, I've been in front of crowds. That's not the fear I have.
Sure.
Like walking up there and getting up and talking is not the fear. The fear
Who are these people that would rather die than hop on the microphone at Walgreens and go, we need help in produce? Like what?
Clean up
that
aisle
is
3.
that is the dumbest like phrase I've ever heard in my.
What?
People are more afraid of
public
dying.
speaking?
Public speaking.
Yeah.
Where are these? How? What is this? These are false facts. They have to be.
Yeah, fear of dying that's a big fear.
It is miserable.
Yeah, I don't have a fear of not being here. I have a fear of the going through the dying part.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
But that phrase within itself
fun.
is saying that when the plane's going down, the pilot mathematically is not going to hop on the thing and go, hey.
Yeah, it's like
things aren't looking good.
It's like, give me a stage. I'd rather be on a stage than dying on a plane.
I'm just going to ride this whole plane going down thing, but I'm not hopping on that horn. They're going to have to figure it out.
Okay, I never thought of it quite like that, Mike. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Who is more afraid? Some of the silliest phrases.
That's a point. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's silly. And you just buy it because somebody told it to you when you were 7.
Everybody's like, oh, yeah.
A bird in the hand is worth 2. Shut up. Who's keeping birds for pets? Get out of here. These are all. Why are you telling me this? Watermelons can't grow in your stomach. You're my least favorite uncle.
Oh, okay. I always heard that, like, if you get bitten by a squirrel, you get like 7 rabies shots in your stomach. I don't think that's true either.
That's got to be true. Squirrels are outside of squirrels and sharks, top 2 scariest animals in my entire life.
I was always so scared. Okay, great. I was always so scared of squirrels. I was just like, oh my God.
If they choose to kill you, it's over. You're not gonna catch it. Nobody's gonna help you because they won't know why.
It's like, can you please indulge on the acorn and not come over here?
Yeah.
I think I was reading some of that, and so I skipped those first points. Those points that don't make any sense. And then, a lot of it was, keeping the focus off of you, putting it on the crowd, picture them having a great time. I don't know if you're a visualization person where you're like picturing like getting on stage and whatever, killing it. I don't know.
Depending on the gig or the show, especially if it's something that I'm like really amped up for, then I'll psych myself out for it for sure.
Yeah. I've had to have a lot of conversations with myself because like the mental stuff that can come in is just ridiculous. Not true. Just making you more fearful of it than it really should be. And I try to kill all those crazy little voices.
Like being present, like for me, that really helps a lot. 'Cause sometimes I'll think of my whole, all right, I want to say this, I want to take it there, I want to go there, and boo 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 boo, and I have it ready, and I'll go out there and just punt it 3 yards, right? And then sometimes I'm just like, I'm here, man. This is a really cool job. Just have fun. And I'll go up there and have the time of my life,
Yeah, it's a great thing to remember to have fun. Yeah. And I think the more comfortable you are, I've had moments where I'm doing a set and then it's just like this punchline comes out. Like I had been working on it and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just going to leave it like this. And then all of a sudden I say something that was unplanned and I was like, oh wow, that just happened. So those are good moments. But back to the Real Rap podcast. I love your podcast. I think that there's just such a great vibe to it. Like I know who Mike Knight is when I watch it. Perfect. I think it's really great.
Yeah, that's definitely the point. I'm actually a curious person, so I tell people, come. This is literally just us in the green room because the majority of the time is comics. I'm just like, just think we're in the green room, just shooting the breeze or whatever, and you know what I mean. And then when I'm asking questions, I'm genuinely like interested to hear what people are saying, and so usually it'll just take on a life of itself from there, and I'll just try and, all right, is there something going on, or is there something here or there, and but I mean but by saying like regular ass people, everybody has a story, and there are peaks, valleys, action, adventure, love, tragedy, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
absolutely everybody's last month has
Yeah.
all those elements, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So really digging through somebody's whole thing, and the more they're willing to give, it's, you know, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, I'm not trying to take it in obvious places, but I'll definitely, you know what I mean, I'll poke the bear a little bit and see if somebody's going to be open. So it's just like an audience. Like if the audience is building with you and they're having fun, you can actually make something beautiful, you know what I mean? But it's hard to like fold up bed sheets by yourself. You know, if you got somebody else on the other side, then boom, 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 you could do it. You could do it a lot more efficient. So when somebody's willing to give, and you actually dig down and realize that we're all just, you know,
human
without a
stuff.
clue.
Wow. I do like the questions you ask people. Do you do that ahead of time? Do you like prep ahead of time?
When I first started, first started, I haven't even hit a year yet, but like when I first I had everything mapped out. I was sending people the like talking points list ahead of time and all the other good stuff. And then I just started feeling more and more comfortable there, because I shoot 2 episodes every other week.
Okay.
So generally speaking, I'm going about, you know, anywhere between 3 to 4 hours during a shoot day. So by the time, you know, like it's kind of been like a crunch period. So I'm like more comfortable now. I'll have a couple of all right, what happened in the news? What happened this week? Is it relevant to the guest that I'm having on?
Right.
Or do I know the guest? Because if I know the guest, that's one thing. Let's talk about something going on. If I don't know the guest, let me get to know you now. You know, and go about it that way. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like it. I just feel like you have really good questions, really good meaningful stuff. I mean, I saw several of them, like Appy and Zacco, and then of course Calvin Evans. I was like all over that one. And then the Be Positive, that was a really good one too. Just really interesting takes on life, and just I learned a lot with that Be Positive. I was just like, whoa, you know, just trusting the wrong people, things like that they said. It was very interesting. But yeah, I just was like curious about that, because I was like, man, he's asking really good questions.
Oh, that was all selfish. In particular, the Be Positive one, and in particular the Calvin Evans James Webb one.
Yeah.
That was completely self-serving. All those questions were, now I definitely did show prep specifically for those two. Okay. Because every question that I basically let them put me through a freshman year of production school for you know, on basically on my show. Yeah. Because I was asking about marketing, putting asses in seats, equipment. Half of the studio that I have now with my engineer Big Joe got revamped based off of James Webb being there. Really? Different cameras, lighting, this program, that program. Like he came so after we got done filming, all of us still hung out for probably another hour and a half, 2 hours. Oh my And then God. My engineer and James ran off like a couple little giddy schoolgirls before prom. Awesome. And next thing I know, my engineer's like, yo, I just got a 6K camera like James. How'd you get it? Don't ask me that. Next thing I know, we're shooting with a different exactly. Wow. So everything, those particular episodes
how amazing
were extremely, and not only for me, but you know, you're trying to build an audience, you're trying to build listeners, you're trying to give them value. So I was like, all right, so people paying attention to these, here's I would hope this is what, if you're tuning in to me, then we might be on a similar wavelength. These are the things you would want to know if you had time to sit down with these gentlemen, or whoever, for, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours. You know, like give me the answers.
Wow. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Those were very good. That makes sense. And it's funny because with this podcast, like, I'm having comedians come on and everything, and then sometimes I'm kind of like we talked about an icebreaker, which we haven't even gotten to, and we might not even get to it, but
it might get us canceled. We were definitely NC-17 before you press play. Your idea, by the way. Let the record show.
My idea. I went for the juggler of icebreakers. I mean, we weren't just going to talk about Disneyland. It was really bad.
To your earlier point, though, even on the Calvin episode, I asked him about bombing.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The level that he's at in his career right now, how do you deal with bombing? And he gave his explanation. He basically said, hey, I relax, I sit there, and I think he told a story about at one point in his life he was bombing at a show, and then he gave stage time back. He left early, and then he said he felt miserable.
Oh yeah.
And then the next time he was out, when his jokes didn't land, he was like, all right, well, we're just going to sit here and talk it out. We're going to get to the bottom of this until something funny pops up.
You guys are going to sit here and witness this stuff
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
Just being comfortable in that you know,
Yeah, just
in that
sitting
arena.
in it.
Yeah. Because bombing, because your joke didn't hit, it probably isn't on par with like a Navy SEAL when the bullets start flying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they have to sit there in that uncomfortableness and say, all right, I have a task to do.
Yeah,
And
I gotta see it through.
But I mean, to that, there's a parallel. Is all right.
Yeah.
Bomb went off.
Yeah.
Do you run, or do you say I gotta go Arnold Schwarzenegger this thing? You know?
Yeah. Kudos to you, because like I think like I'm just starting out with podcasting, so I always feel like I gotta put other things that maybe people would be interested in, because I'm feeling like, okay, I want to reach more people than just people that are into comedy. But I mean, there's a lot of life lessons and a lot of stuff they talked about that was really, really good. I mean, I think I watched the James Webb Calvin Evans twice. I mean, that was so good. First of all, I have a high respect for both of them. Calvin Evans doesn't know who I am, but I mean,
cool guy.
I love him. Yeah, I think he's amazing at what he does.
You should find a way have people talk to people. I think he would be phenomenal on your show, and it's a whole theater.
God, yeah.
He would hurt belly pain, and
I
seats.
did ask him one time, and it was his birthday thing, and he had a show that he was doing then. But yeah, definitely on my list of headliners.
Very cool guy, very approachable. Will do your that show I told you that I produced.
Yeah,
that was horrendous. He did that one. Bless his heart. For all 11 people that showed up.
But man, those 11 people got a good.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
had a good time, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
You know, wow, yeah, I think he's amazing, and I have like mad respect for James Webb as well.
Hell yeah.
And all he does.
That guy is going supernova these days.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are about to get to start knowing him very well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's going to New York, right? I think he's like.
I don't know what that guy's up to as far as where he's living, but I know he's probably about to. I might move into his garage because I think he's upgrading.
Please adopt us, James Webb.
For a quarter a day. I'll tell you a joke in the morning.
I just want to hear what you have to say all day long. I mean, he's like the nicest, coolest guy ever, too.
Yeah.
Just like so laid back.
But he's about his business, you know.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's doing, and he did similar to what you're doing. He started with just a hope.
Yeah.
And started making as many mistakes as he could early, and stuck with it, and boom. Yeah,
and the fact to like leave your job, he was like. So I talk about this, and I'm very grateful and very thankful for my job. I really am. I want to say that.
Can't wait to put him in your rearview mirror, huh? Can't wait. Just kidding for tax purposes. I cannot. Don't tell my job. I cannot wait.
We will talk later. The cameras are off.
What? Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's just like it would just be amazing to only do comedy and produce, and like I've thought of it, and I'm like, man, I mean, if I started just producing or comedy, you know, I mean, how fun in podcasting? How fun would that be?
Yeah.
Where my life would only be that, you know, how amazing that would be. But
that's a lot of hours and productivity. Your most productive time is spent towards somebody else's dreams, goals, and aspirations that you might not even ever meet, you know, versus working in one of the hardest industries there is, and then giving it, you know, trying to give it your best effort after you've already dumped,
exhausted.
You know what I mean? So it's double the work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. It is double the work, and I think for me too, like there's so many times where I'm like, I'm gonna go do this open mic, and then I'm like exhausted after work, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay home, or winter or whatever. But like, I
and again, no guarantee and no finish line.
Yeah. And I love Facebook for some of the posts that I've been reading.
Yeah.
Fab Monroe put one up recently.
Oh, I love
it just
that.
touched my heart. And I mean, I met her one time, and I put a little heart on it, and I wanted to comment, and I was like, I just know it touched me. But yeah, just give yourself some grace and time, and like, let yourself rest if you need to rest, and let yourself, so I think sometimes like you just personal things happen in your life or whatever, and it's time to just take a break and kind of, I'm not going to try to take a 5-year break, but you know what I mean? Just take a break and settle it down and kind of just regroup and recenter yourself before you go out and hit the payment again and try it again or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's not in you, I mean, there's don't force it. I mean, that 5 years off, I lost momentum in time. But when I came back, so I actually, in that time frame, I'd actually like sobered up, stopped drinking or whatever.
Okay.
So when I came back, even then, I was like pretty much a new version of who I was. You know what I mean? So actually, if I would it would have been a funky transition if I would have still been doing comedy and making that transition in my life as well.
Yeah.
It would have been probably muddy and messy, because I mean I had tried to stop a few times.
Okay.
Still doing comedy or whatever, right? And it just didn't quite, because it's right there.
Yes.
It goes like with the job. So
yes.
And it's not necessarily all that easy, not easy, but it takes some, you got to work at it. I did it cold turkey. Okay. And there's like a year goofy period where you're like a brand new giraffe just on wobbly knees, you know what I mean, with a little placenta hanging off of you. But then after that, I was like, all right, boom. And then like pretty much right when I hit the year, boom, COVID. And that was right when I got like, all right, I'm comfortable with this whole not drinking and being around. I could be around other people and be in bars, and things aren't weird. And I'm not feeling as goofy anymore, and I'm not second guessing myself because I don't. And then now, everything just kind of lined up for me in that manner. So
wow. So how many years have you been sober?
Not drinking. 3 years. September will be 4. Oh, look, I'm cruising up. So about 3.5 years now. A little bit more.
Good for you.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
And I've seen that a lot in the comedy world. Kudos to a lot. I'm not gonna go list off, but
yeah, sure.
People that sober for so long, and I can definitely happen. I think. I mean, it can be the cause of it too. I think, you know what I mean. Like maybe you're, but if you're doing comedy every night and it's there and it's available and you get 2 free drink tickets all the time, you know what I mean.
You get paid in drugs and alcohol. The one job you could show up obliterated, and as long as they laugh. Hats off to you. You can walk on stage with the needle hanging out of your arm as long as you have a punchline for it.
Wow.
And it just goes for it. But how many Mitch Hedberg, Chris Farley, Pryor, I mean, you name it, I'll run out of names before I even get to 1%, Yeah. And it's just like, ooh. So
yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
For watching it and doing it. You know what I mean? Like to be like, okay,
yeah.
It's great.
Oh yeah, it was definitely past the expiration date. No, the banana was brown before before I decided to eat it. For sure.
I love
Squished. Oh yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh man, I think we all have I definitely have an addiction to food. We're like pouring out pizza every time. Yeah, it's just like everybody's got their thing that they're working on.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Totally, but yeah, kudos to you. Awesome. So okay, how long have you been doing the podcast? How long has it been in existence?
Pretty much almost exactly at New Year's.
Oh, okay.
The same week of New Year's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is super cool. What made you do it? I mean,
I wanted to be on other people's podcasts and they wouldn't let me.
I heard that. I heard that on your podcast, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
There's a theme
that
here.
Actually happened.
Everything in my life is based on selfishness. You haven't picked up on that yet. I wanna.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Yeah, I did hear you recently, and I was just like, "Wait." Oh yeah, you did IMO. That's where I heard
did.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did IMO.
That's right. You did IMO as well. I saw some of your episode. Yeah.
Well, no.
Wait, did
I
you
haven't done it yet. No.
You were talking to me about it. You messaged me. That's right.
I got to talk to him because I was scheduled, and then he reached out to me and said that they might have to cancel because the guy that does it with him, his I don't know if I should say all this, but his kid had COVID, and so they weren't sure. They were going to test and see if he was not positive anymore, if he was like, negative or whatever. So I was on vacation. I was like, okay, fine, let me know. Yeah. And I'm not, so at any rate, then I was on vacation, and I have a vocal cord problem already, and I love to talk. And so by the time I was coming back, I think I was going to fly back Thursday, and then the podcast was Friday night. On Thursday, my voice, I could hear it crackling. Like it started to hurt to talk, and I was like, uh-oh. So then I was like, well, I haven't heard anything about the COVID yet, so I voice clipped him because I didn't, I take cancellations seriously. Like, I don't want to cancel on anybody on anything. Like, once I've committed, even a dinner, I want to go to that,
For sure.
So I told him, I'm like, look, like my voice, isn't right, and I voice clipped it so he could hear it. And I was like, can we reschedule? Is that okay? I'm so sorry, and he's like, oh, it's okay, Missy, we'll get it together, whatever. So then I circled back around and messaged him. I'm like, hey, just let me know what dates, whatever you have, like a week later. Then he goes, oh, I'll get to you after work, but I know he's filming. He's like filming a movie right now.
I think so, right?
Yeah. So I know he's busy, but I mean, my intention is to get back on there.
Yeah.
So I just have to get a date and go back.
To anybody, shout out Mac Nepper. He invited me on to do. I forget the actual name of it, but I mean it's like Bad Boy Comedy. I know he's out there doing this thing. So you've invited me on, and I actively go on, like, I'll search the hashtag Chicago podcast.
Oh, okay.
And then start looking through people's things, because there's something that I started doing that I have to purposefully work on not doing, especially when I started in comedy in particular, is like, you see what I just did to that room? I ain't gotta ask nobody for nothing. They gotta come to me and woo. And you know what I mean? And it's like that is a losing formula in my case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So nobody's beating my door down just because I made 4 people giggle at the Chuckle Hut. You know what I mean? So, and I'm taking that approach with the podcasting thing, because again, it's a community, and I'm reaching out. Hey, I like your content. This, that, and the third, networking, and then going through there, and even if I'll just look at other people's content. I like what you did there. There's a group, I forget their name, but I was just looking through there, and I just I go on their page, I'm looking at their video list, I'm searching at all this other good stuff, and boom, I pop up their description, and I'm like, I love that description format. Yoink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm taking that.
Yeah. And I took the skeleton and made it mine, you know what I mean? But that's that's the name of the game,
Yeah, I think learning and growing. I feel like I really like and this is like off topic, but with acting. But the creator of Power, and I can't believe now, of course, I cannot remember her name, but she's amazing.
Oh yeah. That original guy that wrote the first. Yeah.
It's a series on Stars.
Well, I think she's still probably writing on it.
Yeah, she is creator and writer of Power. And I gotta look her up because I love her, and I can't even believe. I just think it's just because it's late and my brain is
fair enough.
but she is amazing. And every time she comes on, Courtney Kemp, hello.
Okay.
Courtney Kemp. And I've prayed somehow that I would work with her. Because
Yeah.
I still love acting. Like if somebody called me up today and been like, hey, can you,
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, yeah, I want to be in that movie or whatever. She goes on Instagram lives and she does all these live things, and she's always talking about, like, she answers every question. She's amazing. I love her lives. And she's like, a good idea can come from anyone and anywhere. And I agree. I mean, like, I was kind of observing and searching and looking and how do people do this and how do people do that? And like, yeah, I agree. I do the same thing. And I have I have a person that I talk to about podcasting too, and like comedy and stuff, like producing. I try to pick people's brains all the time, because it's like, I mean,
how many different ways are they going to rewrite the book The Secret? You know, how many different online dating's crazy? Am I right? Like, that's you're going to hear this. How many stories can they tell in a Hollywood movie? Boy meets girl, hero fights villain, boy loses girl, revenge, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's only so much you can do, but as long as you're making it yours. You know what I mean? You're not spitting it out word for word. Somebody had told me, everything has been done except for you. So.
Ooh, that's great.
Yeah, right?
I love that.
If I would have known it wasn't all that well known, I would have stole that.
I have a quote.
And been like, yeah.
That took 4 hours to develop.
And then I would have said it, and at the end been anonymous. I hate those people.
I want you to say it again. I'm kind of like, wait, what was that? That was so good.
Oh, well, I'll do you one better. So I had actually read Kevin Hart's first book.
Okay.
And I forget the name of it. At least I'm giving him credit. And he was talking about when he started. So he started doing comedy in Philadelphia. Was winning competitions. This, that, and the third. Ended up meeting with this other Philadelphia legend, Keith Robertson.
Okay.
Started taking him up to New York, right? And at first wasn't letting him actually get on the mic. He was like, just sit over there, dummy. And then all the old New York cellar crowd were sitting. Bill Burr, and that whole gang, like Patrice O'Neal, that whole squad, right? They're doing the thing. And he's just sitting in the corner, sit there, shut up, be quiet, and watch, right?
Yeah.
And then after a while, I started letting him get up on stage, doing this, that, and the third, and he was killing. And Keith was like, "What'd you do, stupid?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? I just killed this crowd." And he was like, "You're up there telling like jokes, like like two Jews walked in a bar type stuff." He was like, "When these people walk out of here, they're not even gonna remember you.
Wow.
They laugh now, but what do they know about you?" And that's after that, I'm paraphrasing, but after that is when he made his transition of, all right, I'm telling jokes.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to start talking about myself and making it funny. And ultimately, he's blowing up. You're watching the specials, and he's telling you deep, dark things about himself, his family, his past, what he's going through. I mean, Richard Pryor was doing that from the Giddy Up, and he's a legend. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah.
everything's been done except for you. So when I started out, I used to have like those jokes.
Yeah.
I had a horrible joke about it was like right when I moved to Chicago, I was like, yeah, I moved here and this guy tried to rob me, but I wouldn't let him because his pants were too tight. It took him forever to pull the gun out. I just walked away. And it would work, but it was dog manure because it was just fit. And after a while, there would be sometimes I would tell it, and I'm like, what am I saying right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'm struggling on trying to get to the truth, similar like these other these other comedians do.
Oh yeah, there's something about vulnerability on stage too.
You identify with it.
It's just like humanity. And identifying, totally.
I just saw that Sam Morril. You know what? I can't stop on this. I can't reveal because I think he might actually be putting it out there. But I just watched Sam Morril and his opener, and Sam Morril has this joke. I think his Netflix special is gonna drop here before too long. He has a joke about something that he used to do with a group of friends that is hilarious, and it's not anything I would ever admit. The shotgun to my chest. Count down from 10. I'm never gonna admit it, and he let it out on stage, and it was hilarious.
Oh wow! Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Very good about being vulnerable. Oh yeah, I have those moments too where I'm like writing and then I'm like, oh, yeah. Should I say that? Can I say that?
Oof.
Like, or something happened in a group of your friends and your friend, maybe the joke's on your friend and you're like, oh no, like I would hate for them to hear this joke.
There is definitely.
Whatever. I don't do it. I'm just kidding.
That's
Friends
probably the best one to do, though. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Right.
And Kevin Hart told the whole world that his pop used to he used to bend the knee for some coke. You know what I mean? That's a tough one to say with movie cameras recording you.
Yeah, and it's your dad.
A few $1 million later, I'm sure his pop is like
the visual isn't good for him.
Laughing all the way to the bank in a Mercedes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, just buy me another house.
Yeah.
You're
be
fine.
all right.
Buy me another house.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy you Steve Harvey's old teeth. All the years fell out. You damn addict. He'll get over it. Whole things are. He's got stunt teeth if he laughs too hard, I promise.
Oh, that is good stuff right there. Oh my God. Wow. Well, I could talk to you forever, but we got to end it. But hey, anything you want to plug? I mean, we got the Real Rap podcast, right? So what episode are you on now then?
That is actually, I think that's a running joke. I say the wrong episode pretty much every episode. Tomorrow premieres 24, I believe.
Okay. So that's great. You just go in and do the show, and then they take care of everything.
I got an engineer. Shout out Big Joe, engineer extraordinaire. He treats like editing and his engineering side like an art form, the same way we would approach comedy or anything like that. He's really in there. He drops in like little extra clips. We work together on the backgrounds. Half the time he's picking them out.
They're really good.
Editing, he'll if there's a slow spot, he'll go in there, and so it takes a lot of the pressure off of me. Hats off to you for doing the editing though, because what you're learning and teaching yourself is invaluable. Like the short clips, I'll edit those like on my phone, and I've been doing it for a little bit of time now, and I'm like, oh my God, editors have way too much power. Like I can make this short clip whatever the hell I want by edit, but it's a fun process.
Yeah.
Because it's it's like my baby, so I'm invested in it. So
yeah.
Teaching yourself how to edit and being in all of this and being able to have family to work with is I think you're gonna be just fine.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate that. Any upcoming shows you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't like to brag. Nah. So I am definitely also writing on a movie, doing my podcast, and then just telling funny ha-has all throughout the city of Chicago.
You're writing on Midwest. A movie?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
That is great.
It is.
Can you share or can you not share?
I'm actually contractually obligated not to.
Oh, yeah, let's not do that. We don't want to mess that up.
But it's dope. I'll tell you this. I actually got picked by the producer at the comedy bar. Wasn't a whole lot of people there, but I convinced myself to have fun and went up there and treated the few people that were there like it was a sold-out stadium.
Yeah.
And that guy happened to see me. So for anybody watching, 3 people, 30 people, 30,000 people.
Yeah.
Give it everything you got, because it sounds cliche because it's the truth. You never know who's watching.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What opportunities can breed.
Literally, most people, not even most people. 9 times out of 10 would have been like, this is I went up there. I went up there, had fun. And next thing I know, somebody's tugging my sleeve.
Oh my God.
Here we are.
Good for you.
Thank you.
And
good for you for getting it started, having this podcast,
Thank
and I can't wait to have you on mine.
Oh my God, I can't wait to be there
it's
too.
Gonna be dope.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
That was